What do you think are some stereotypes about people with autism?
That they're like violent, they don't go to college, they don't have a job, they can't even talk. Also their GPA is really bad. That's some stereotypes.
Before meeting Jahao, did you kind of been around a lot of people who are on the autism spectrum? What did you feel like you learned?
I think that he himself was a lot more like professional and ready to go than I was expecting. I'm not really sure what I was expecting.
Autism is a condition in which people have a difficult time with social skills, hate change, and is inflexible. They have a hard time with eye contact. Some people do, not me. And their communication skills are not that great. It's hard to think of what to talk about besides hello and how are you. I know that, but it's hard to get outside of that communication. Some people don't like interacting that much on the spectrum. Everyone's different. I was born in Shanghai, China. I moved here in July of 2001 because my mom had a new job. At first, I didn't really know any English, so I was like pretty much stuck using body or hand gestures. I was bullied a lot. When I was recess, somebody kicked sand into my eyes and then temporarily blinded me for like a few minutes. I can't see. The sand in my eyes, hard to get out.
Yeah, what did that feel like to have that happen?
It was sad because you're different. That's why. I got my diagnosis at 19 years old. It's probably relief because I wasn't sure what was wrong with me because I had trouble making friends. I had trouble with job interviews and stuff, so I was wondering how, despite applying to so many jobs or interviews, had several interviews, can't even get a job, even part-time, grocery. I have a year of college left. I study like in MIS, which means Management Information Systems. GPA in high school is 3.76. My current one in college is 3.73.
Transitions has been around for about 5 years, and it's a collaborative effort between Troy Romero, myself, and of course Autism Action Partnership. And it's really come out of a genuine community need for extended services for students who have graduated from the school system and are interested in potentially working or maybe post-secondary experiences. We've really found that there's a significant gap in support services for that age range. So obviously being on a university campus, that's also on our radar.
It is social skills. It is video modeling to help improve things like asking someone out on a date or even some rudimentary job issues. It's run by professors and grad students.
Transitions is actually going to be able to have Temple Grandin alone with us, which is an amazing opportunity. She is such a role model. For our last large group outing, we watched a movie about Temple Grandin, so everybody was kind of introduced if they weren't already. And we've been seeing her posters around campus.
So this was a really unique opportunity for us to be able to introduce someone who is wildly successful and has ASD. We got books for each of our participants through the support of AAP so that we could read a section of Different Not Less. And we focused on some discussion questions to help them take some thematic ideas from the book that they might be able to take into conversation with her later this afternoon. I was absolutely blown away by the questions that they generated. They want to know, how can I be successful? How do you deal with family members who just don't get it? How do you deal with parents who try to do everything for you when you can do it yourself?
There's a tendency for a lot of parents to overprotect. I made a slow transition from the world of school to the world of work. Starting in high school with working in the horse barn, I learned how to work even before I learned how to study. What you got to do with people on the spectrum is you got to kind of stretch them. Mother had a really good sense of how to stretch me. When I was 15, I was afraid to go to my aunt's ranch. If I hadn't gone to my aunt's ranch, I wouldn't have been in the cattle industry. So she gave me a choice. I could go for a week, and if I hated it, I could come home, or I got out there and I loved it, I could stay all summer. Not going was not going to be a choice. We cannot let these kids become recluses in their room.
There are so many young adults on the autism spectrum who are really smart, who are really just spending all their time in their parents' basement playing video games and wasting their talents and skills and abilities. We have to do something about that. Talking to parents, it was clear that the big gap in services was for young adults and adults. So that's why we really started focusing on this issue of employment.
The Partnership for Autism Career Employment, PACE, is an entirely free service that we offer to adults who are on the autism spectrum that are looking for supported employment services in the Omaha metropolitan area. We get to know them, where they want to go in life, what are their personal goals, what are their professional goals, what their true passions are, their sensory preferences, and we put all of that into an action plan in order to help them achieve their employment goal.
A lot of the job placement people don't seem to differentiate between the student where pushing carts at supermarkets is a great one summer job for teaching skills, but it's not what they should be going into a career. Maybe they should be going into industrial design or maybe into computer science.
The level of jobs that we're seeking for these individuals is far above anything that they've had before. Each plan that we develop is completely individualized from the ground up. Some individuals need resume development. We also prep individuals for interviews. And then once they acquire the job, then we provide long-term supported employment services for them so that they are successful long-term.
The transitions coordinator sent out an email response about PACE. I went in and talked about what I want to do for my job, like for my major. But then we narrowed down to a few careers, thinking about web development or database administrator or a business analyst.
When Jao started with me, you could tell that he definitely had a lot of rote knowledge that he got from his professor. The things that he learned with that professor were pretty well cemented in, so we had a base to go from there. So we were taking the things that he learned in one of our Intro to Web classes and then try to take it to that next level where he's doing some more programming, not just web scripting. Jao did really good when I was able to give him some very step-by-step instructions to do things. As a matter of fact, when I did that, many times the time I thought he would take on it did not match. He was a lot faster. But what we were really trying to work on with Jao was position a concept just a little bit further away, and he was actually able to start making bigger steps on his own that way.
So far at ADDIC, I've been developing some web pages and also made a database system. It's taught me a new language called PHP and a little bit of JavaScript.
We adjust our level of services and our intensity of services based on what the client would like from us. Some clients choose to be more independent throughout this process and would like support behind the scenes, and some individuals would really like us to be fully integrated into their whole interview process, orientation process, as well as training while they're on the job. On the employer side, we do the same thing. Some employers really want full support from us because they feel that our ability to educate them and how to work with these employees is valuable and necessary to their success. And some employers would really like to be more independent throughout that process.
When they first started, they would come every day with him. Actually, he would usually beat them there, but that's okay. But then as we went along, they started leaving a little earlier. They started, and then to the point where they stopped coming because he had no problems working with us.
There are still a lot of myths and misperceptions about what autism is, what autism looks like. These folks are highly skilled and ready to work in a supportive environment. With support, they can absolutely be successful.
What we want is business leaders to see the business sense, not just the charitable component of it. So I think the charitable focus is providing the financial support to us so that we can keep the services free and keep them open for everyone who needs them. I don't think it's a charitable endeavor from the business perspective. It's the right business decision.
I am a photorealistic visual thinker. Everything I think about is in pictures. So the work that I've done with Cargill and other plants is the field of industrial design. It's the art side of engineering. Now, another kind of mind is an auditory thinker. Everything is through their ears. A lot of people are dyslexic, super good auditory thinkers. And then the third type is a word thinker. Think in words, they'll be good at journalism. And the fourth type is the mathematical pattern thinker. These are the kids that think in patterns rather than pictures. They're your computer scientists, computer programmers. They work with the patterns. I saw two boys up there tonight that ought to be very successful in IT and computers. So let's find jobs that use the area of strength.
We want to really make sure that we are utilizing those skills to help employers reach their mission. People bring skills and perspectives to the environment because of who they are, because of the fact that they're on the autism spectrum and their experiences in life. It's a diverse perspective that employers are lucky to have in their workplace, because the more diversity you have in a workplace, the better things are for everybody.